Back to the
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Josh of the Ultimate Team Nation, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 things you are going to want to do in the first week of Madden Ultimate Team. Now, this list is pretty straightforward, nothing insane, just some basic things recommended for beginners as well as veteran users, just because generally it's going to help you get a good kickoff to Madden, as well as it's going to help you kind of progress through the game and kind of get that little one-up step on your competition early on once Madden is released. So we're going to start at 5. We're going to work our way up to 1. So first up, we're going to start out with play your head-to-head seasons. Now, the reason I'm going to say this is because head-to-head seasons have its benefits because they have up the coin amounts that you're going to get. You're going to get a little bit more in your game. So you're still going to earn a better reward playing your games. Now, that's not the main reason I want you guys playing this. The other reason is every time you progress through, so let's say you win the division and you make it, so you get a first round bye. So for making the playoffs, you get a pack which includes one of the season veteran master collectibles. Now, if you are able to collect 10 of those, you get a season veteran. Now, from what I've seen so far, the worst season veteran is Devin Hester on the Falcons, and that to me is really not a bad card because that's your returner for basically the first 2 months, as well as like a 4th or a 5th receiver on some teams, maybe a week in, depending on how good your team is, maybe even a 3rd or a 2nd receiver. So anyways, and there's so many other players you can get across the board that are very, very good players. Now, you got to play roughly, it would take a minimum of 2 seasons where you would have to make the playoffs and win you would have to make it to the Super Bowl in your first season, and in your second season you would have to make it to at least the conference championship, and at that point you would have 10 badges and you would be able to get a seasoned veteran player. That's one of the key reasons that I recommend doing your head-to-head solos, because head-to-head games and seasons, because you are going to be rewarded with very good elite players early on in the game. Number 4, I'm going to be talking about players now, and we're going to go into getting players that fit your style of play. Now, what I mean by this is you're going to want to find players who will work for you. Like, I like a quarterback who has the ability to be mobile. So, like, Andrew Luck is one of the better quarterbacks that I like. Because he can be a run threat. If needed, he's mobile in the pocket. But I don't need like a Colin Kaepernick. So I kind of find my median in there for quarterbacks, and I can always expand or decrease my range. It's just the adjustment period. Now, I like running backs who can go every down, who are as elusive as they are able to truck. So like DeMarco Murray or something. I find those guys kind of work for me. And that's kind of how I go along with my ideas, and that's how I like to get guys who fit in my style. This reason I say this is because this will help you be a better player, because you're playing with guys you want to play with and who complement how you play. And now this is key, because then you aren't complaining, oh, this guy isn't doing what I want him to do. You got to get the guy who's going to do what you want to do, and that's why you want to go out and get players that'll fit your style. And it just ends up always being better, and it works for you. Playbooks are especially important in that as well, because those are basically you want to pick a playbook as well that fits your style, and the players that'll go with that style that you play, and it just works better. You're going to feel that you're doing better, and you're going to be a better player overall. So number 3 is going to be play draft champions. Now, you might be thinking, what does this have to do with MUT? So if you don't know yet, Draft Champions is going to be linked with MUT rewards. Now, these MUT rewards, I will tell you about in a second, but you can play either head-to-head, which I would recommend, or the solos. The solos don't get you as good of a reward. The solos just are kind of like more smaller rewards and not as good. Solos, you play 3 games against CPUs, but you have to win all of them. And then you're given a draft badge reward, and you get a draft badge and some coins or some packs, and they're not really that good. But if you are able to win your 4 games in head-to-head, which is what you need, you're given a draft champion badge. Now, I don't know how many badges you need yet, but I know that these badges will be redeemable for either a 91 overall Adrian Peterson, a 91 overall Michael Crabtree, a 90 overall Tim Tebow, a 90 overall Patrick Peterson, or a 91 overall Terrell Suggs, as well as a double elite pack. And in the last double elite pack is you are given 2 random elites, which range from which are as low as 80 and as high as 91. So who knows, maybe you'll get Richard Sherman, who's an 89, and JJ Watt 91. So yeah, I guess that would be a little bit better, but there's a little bit more risk involved. So that's why I say play Draft Champions. It's going to help you with your gameplay because you're not going to be playing with the best players in the world. You'll get to experience with new players, new playbooks, different things, and it'll help you out. Definitely a lot better. It's going to increase how well you play. You're going to get used to new players and be able to test out some of the better players. And it'll help you out in your MUT, on your MUT team as well. Number 2 is going to be do the dual style set there. You can see on the screen, it's going to be the 3rd one over. Now, this year, the reason I say this, it's 32 games, might seem a little long, but these ones come in handy, and it's very good to do early on in MUT. Now, the reason I'm saying do this one over the Journey or the Gauntlet or whatever is because once you complete these 32 games, if it is the same as last year, I know they brought in new players this year. Last year is the offensive and defensive MVP, which was Peyton Manning and Luke Kuechly. This year it is going to be Tony Romo at quarterback, as well as Glover Quinn, who's a free safety. Now, those guys are going to be rewarded once you beat all 32 games. Put the collectibles into a collection. You'll be able to get those players. Now, I don't know what overall they were going to be. I am assuming in 95 because that's what they were last year. They are probably going to be fairly toned down, though, just because some of the players, Luke Kuechly was absolutely overpowered last year, whereas Peyton Manning was very, very low for being a quarterback and very kind of didn't really work out very much early on. Luke Kuechly was definitely the better card, and that's why a lot of people did it. Now, the reason I say do this is because all it requires is you to have a high chemistry style in each of the chemistries. You need a 90 chemistry in each different chemistry. I know that's going to sound like a lot, but actually it really isn't. And I'll touch on why it's not going to be too hard if you follow these 5 steps later on, but it's going to help out and work for you as long as you just kind of stick with it. It's going to be a little bit of a grind, but a very short one, which you should be able to punch out in the first few days of Madden. And if you don't like one of the players, you can sell them for a decent amount of coins. Peyton Manning sold for around well over 100K for the first week, just because he was such a good quarterback. Now, last but definitely not least, is going to be work the marketplace. Now, working the marketplace, what I mean is looking for players who are either very low down on the market. Some maybe put them up for low, so kind of continually checking the market to see if there's any good buys that'll help your team out, or that you can buy, maybe use for a little bit. The price goes up on that player and resell. It's going to help you increase your coin totals, going to let you experiment with new players and not take hits when you're making purchases on those players. It's going to definitely benefit your team. Just be cautious on making the purchases because you don't want to buy someone, maybe they're going for 29K and it's a certain, like it's a defensive player, maybe it's an outside linebacker, and then people don't really like this card anymore, or there's problems with it, then the price drops down to 19K. Well, you're out money. You got to really pay attention to it. It's not the easiest thing to do. This is a little bit more tailored towards the veterans, but it's definitely something, if you have experience in, it is going to help you out immensely. Now, I do have a bonus point, and I know I'm going to sound like I'm marketing for EA here, but buy packs. I know it sounds like I'm marketing here, but buying packs actually really benefits you. There's 3 times in the year where I think packs are actually worth buying. Does it mean I'm going to buy packs other times? Yeah, I am. But the packs that I find are always good. The first week. The first week is always the best week. You get more bang for your buck. gold players like Deshaun Jackson, who was an 84 overall last year, sold for 25K day one, and was still selling for over 12,500 coins after a week into the game. So it's just, you buy packs, you're guaranteed those gold players, and if you get some elites, those guys are going to be a lot of coins, and you really get a good return. Now, the other times are when the breast cancer awareness packs are out, as well as the frost packs, which were just introduced this year. So that's my 5 tips, as well as my bonus one, guys, for the 5 things that you should do in the first week of Madden. That's all I've got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. Have an awesome day.